I agree that positive reward is better than taking things away. And so I want to empower students and give them the tools that they need to succeed firsthand. I know that sitting back in Senate and hearing firsthand students go, am I allowed to make a motion right now? It's kind of a deterrent if you don't know what you can do in Senate. So giving them the tools in order to succeed will help make students an active member. And that's done through making sure that everyone is fully aware of parliamentary procedure, how to write acts and resolutions, as well as utilizing committees. A lot of times we'll sit in Senate and we'll debate over like different things that could be debated in Senate, or I'm sorry, in a committee like e-board or facilities or sustainability, and therefore they can bring back their revisions, and the students' times in Senate can be utilized more efficiently.
Actually, this year I participated as a member of the development board, and we've started two new ideas that we want to push through to begin. We've actually already started one of them this year. It's the Senator of the Month. It goes along with the positive reward, or the positive rewarding. But the other thing, kind of touching on what Austin was talking about, was we're pushing through a brand new Senator handbook. And this is an idea that I came up with Kelsey Smithson, who's the chairman of the development board. And we're working on, right now we do have a senator's handbook, but it's very wordy, and Robert's Rules section on it is extremely complicated. Even for me, the parliamentarian, I don't like to refer to it at all. But we're working on coming up with it's terrible. We're working on coming up with a better, actually that's my section that I work on, is the Robert's Rules section, and it simplifies Robert's Rules down to what the senators need to know when they're allowed to talk, what the committee's responsibilities are. Is another section in there, a very detailed explanation of what committees you want to be in, so senators can choose their committee that they want to be involved in, so you don't have senators pick the wrong committee and be apathetic towards it. And we're trying to take steps forward to better prepare senators so that way their first introduction to Senate is not at the senator's retreat. They'll have access to this before they decide to elect it. It'll be posted on the website. They can see it before they decide to run, and they'll be better prepared when the Senate retreat comes around.
All right, we're going to student questions. There's a lot. So I guess my first thing would be, what in your non-SGA experience do you think is bring to the table that best qualifies you for this position?
Throughout my non-SGA experience, I've done a great deal of work within the College of Arts and Sciences peer advising program. With that, you learn to advise and deal firsthand with students who may come to you with different questions, as well as you teach classes on the university and the policies that it holds. And so in doing that and having my connection with SGA, I've been able to give students like resources that they need, and as well as get feedback on what we as student government need to be working on.
For me, I have to say that my out of SGA, my most profound experience that has prepared me for this has been my time that I spent with Colleges Against Cancer and Relay for Life. I have firsthand experience about what it's like to try to become an RSO here on campus, and that's one of the responsibilities of the EVP is to deal with RSOs and RSO leaders. And I've been working with Paul Beck this last year to revamp the Constitution to how the SOB should operate. Rather than how it's written, it should operate. And I feel like that was the most development I had as a leader was when I got to be the event chairman for Relay for Life, because I had to learn how to relate to people and how to gain their respect and how to get people to listen to what you had to say. And I feel like that influenced me as a leader in everything I did after that.
Another question. Why do you think senators need to get paid the job they do?
Okay. I think that the payment really, it serves as both a reward, and right now currently it serves as the only real measurable amount of accountability for a senator is their pay. But I think that in the end it comes down to the fact that a senator who puts in as much work as the more active senators that I see, or even the ones who do their job and do it well, it serves as a reward to them because they do take a lot of time to do that, and that's time that could be spent doing other things. And a lot of times it's a lot of fun, a lot of times it's a lot of work, and that work deserves to be rewarded. And I think that's why the payment is there, honestly.
I think that the payment is used to, as well, provide the reward and the accountability for participating in the student government. But at the same time, it also is a fine line, because in order to say, like, you're not going to get paid if you don't do these things and these things, or if you do these things, you're going to get paid more. Because I know that at one point there was a discussion of making it to where you had to create 2 resolutions, and if you didn't, then your pay would be docked. And so, does that mean that people are just going to bring resolutions to the table just because they have to and they're not going to get paid, or are they actually bringing things to the table that are going to affect students and put things in the place that need to be taken care of? So I think the pay is there in order to deal more with the accountability and the students actually talking with their constituents and bringing the ideas to the table.
I'll ask this question of the ask this question of the arguments, but as your role as executive vice president, what will you do to bring in students that maybe question SGA, what SGA does? Not only what is your response to that, but how do you get students to see SGA more as something that's very applicable to them while they're here to do that? Awesome.
All right, this is one of the big things that I wanted to bring up this evening, and that is to get students involved with SGA. One of the big things that I want to do is use things that have already been started. This year we had the President's Council, which Curtis had created, as well as SGA Cares, which Pooja enacted, and the RSO Summit, which brought out a lot of organizations to hear and about ways that they can get funding through CPC, as well as the travel funds. And so making that all cohesive and providing the information they need that's going to help their organization succeed and collaborate with SGA. With WorkSeek now, it empowers you to have your own website, a calendar. It pulls all the calendars together so that all of the RSOs on our campus, the over 300 that we have, can have a centralized location where they can see what's going on next Friday and whether or not we should have our event that Friday, or if we're going to be overshadowed by an SAB event that's going to happen. So by bringing that all together and providing that to the student body, I believe that we'll be able to have a larger presence on campus, as well as provide students with the resources they need to succeed in our organization.
Just so I don't miss anything, would you mind repeating the question?
Sorry. It was, what was the exact question?
It was,
There's about 400 questions on my screen right now.
how do you connect the students?
Yeah, how are you going to do it? Sorry. How do you deal with students who actively, get back and push back at SGA, not only in response to that, but what actions are you going to take to make sure, the students see SGA more proactively?
Well, one of the things is I want to take a more active, or I want to move along with the SGA Cares, with the card cast system. Whether it's by publicizing more of what SGA does, or finding new avenues to promote what SGA has done, and what senators have done for students, I think this would give a more positive light. Also along the lines with helping out RSOs and maintaining RSO accountability, I actually want to get together a database of business contacts and locale contacts here. So when an RSO has the idea to plan an event, plan a dance, plan a dinner, we have a database there on OrgSync that speaks to, or that has the contact details for companies and for caterers, for places that they can rent out for dinner, and have this information published there on OrgSync so that that's something that an RSO leader can go straight to and just find out right away what's the phone number there or what's the email they need to contact someone at. I am a very big proponent of just sitting down with a group of people and asking them what do they need to be done, and just like my predecessors had said, I would have an open door policy, and I would spend a lot of time in the SGA office welcoming any comment that anyone would have to, or any questions that anyone would have to make. I like to think I'm a very friendly and approachable person, and I like to think that I would be able to I'd be able to interact with just about anybody in a comfortable fashion.
I agree. just as he said, I think the only way that you can advocate for students is if you have an open door and students can come and speak to you directly. And that's why one of the things that I wanted to expand on was the President's Council. I want to be a very big advocate for creating subgroups within the President's Council so that you have these 300 RSOs with 300 presidents. And trying to coordinate 300 people to meet with one president is impossible. There's no way that you're going to find a single time, date, or location that you'll be able to house and accommodate all 300 people. And so creating groups, whether it be by like a genre or people who can just make a certain time or date, I think would be the best way to make that more known.
Two more questions. So you both have served as council presidents. It's a long-year development. So what experience do you have, and what do you think you bring to the table that your opponent does not? So, Austin, that was trying to.
I cannot honestly say what Austin does not bring to the table, being that I was never on his council. But I can say what I bring to the table very well, and that's that whenever I was the president of Speed School Student Council, I made it my objective to make it an organization that it was worthwhile to be a member of. I recognize that people were a member of that organization because they wanted to be there, not because they felt they had a responsibility to be there. And I like to think that worked extremely well for boosting participation of our members, their willingness to go